again and welcome back to Some Climbing News. Been a while, but yeah, man, I'm back. Whether or not that's a good thing kind of remains to be seen. But, whatever. To borrow some words from good old Slim Shady, climbing world feels so empty without me for, like maybe two of you at most. Not really, whatever. Doesn't matter. Welcome back. Hope the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, whatever the hell you were celebrating were good, I guess, and weren't too painful as they tend to be. Let's get this show started. Alright, so first things first, Simon Lorenzi sent Shaolin 9A/V17 also on wet fucking rock. And honestly, man, we just gotta have a freaking conversation about what is and isn't acceptable for pro climbers to do. Because it seems that the harder you climb, the more everyone in climbing just lets you do whatever the fuck you freaking feel like. But first, we gotta clarify a few things for anyone that's not aware. When we say that someone is climbing on wet rock, particularly with regards to sandstone, we don't mean that the holes they are grabbing onto are literally soaked, generally speaking. No one is saying that the holes on Shaolin were wet when Simon was climbing. The problem with sandstone particularly is the fact that it's porous. It's like a sponge. Water very, very easily gets in there, real deep and softens the rock structures. It's sandstone, right? So think like compact sand. It's in the freaking name. That when it gets wet, it turns into mud, basically. That water, the water that damages the structure of the rock, stays inside of the rock because it doesn't get direct sunlight, right? It takes freaking forever for it to dry. So while the rock itself may look like it's not wet, on the surface, the interior might be completely soaked, which is what makes the rock so prone to breaking and is the reason locals in sandstone areas ask that you wait at least 24 to 72 hours before climbing, depending on how much water just friggin' fell out of the sky. And this isn't the case for all types of rock, by the way. Certain types of granite, for example, are completely fine to climb while wet. Just look at Noah Wheeler and Hamish MacArthur, literally drying Burden of Dreams seconds before trying it with paper towels when they were in Norway. Or friggin' even Emil Abramson sending Power of Now while it was literally raining and dabbing on a tarp. I guess that means he didn't send. That's he dabbed. He was so close. He almost had it. It's too bad the tarp was there. But look, being Emil Abramson, trying Power of Now or sending Power of Now while it was raining, totally fine. Being Doichi Murai and working Return of the Sleepwalker, not 12 hours after an entire year's worth of rain has just fallen on top of it, is not. One is sandstone, you don't do. The other one is granite, and it's probably okay. So again, we gotta ask ourselves the question, should we let people get away with shitty behavior just because they're climbing hard stuff? Because here's a little list of what we've seen pros doing in the last couple of weeks. We got Doichi Murai working and sending Return of the Sleepwalker after 2.5 inches of rain fell in Vegas. Simon Lorenzi working and sending Shaolin after 1 inch of rain fell in Vegas. Mejdi Schalk and Jules Marchelin sending Meadowlark Lemon after heavy rainfall. A climb that already famously broke because of this exact same fucking shitty and selfish attitude. Simon Lorenzi openly admitting to stashing pads in a Shaolin post, something that has been expressly forbidden in Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area for years at this point, and then deleting that part of his post when he got called out for it because, oopsies. All three of those dudes deciding to start a fire while working Defying Gravity in an area where it's also expressly forbidden. I mean, just Jesus Christ, it doesn't take a genius to see it's a high fire danger area. Just look around in any videos where you can see a shit ton of trees that have been, basically burned down in the area. Look, Rock Entry got completely torn to shreds for posting a video of himself climbing while it was raining in Vegas. Hell, I gave him a ton of shit for it. It was one of my first ever videos. Go look it up if you need to. And yes, what he did was bad. It was a bad thing. He fucked up. But it was also a small flurry of rain that fell for 1 or 2 minutes, not the torrential downpours we've been seeing. In the grand scheme of things, if we look at it objectively, Rock Entry did something wrong. These other guys should go straight to fucking climbing jail. And yet, just 1 or 2 comments to call them out on shit, but ultimately 0 consequences for doing something that the climbing community at large agrees is an inherently crappy thing to do. Again, I ask you, why? At the very very least, these people should be publicly apologizing and recognizing that they did shitty things. Mejdi at least left a comment on his Instagram fire post saying he checked and didn't realize that they couldn't do so. Start a fire, I mean. Sure, like, okay, sure, mistakes happen, fine. But then he freaking turned around and got a Metal Arc Lemon after a ton of rain fell on it. So like, you know, I don't know. Are you like, do you care about ethics or do you not? Is it just a coincidence that big number means small consequence for bad decision? I don't think so. I don't think it's a coincidence that everyone completely shat on Rock Entry who climbs around V10ish, and yet the overall reaction to strong climbers sending hard-ass shit with crappy ethics is generally positive or completely overlooked. I don't know, man. I feel like we really just need to look at ourselves in the freaking mirror. Like, there's so much crap we keep allowing pro climbers to get away with just because they climb hard and are pro climbers. And look, I don't know about you, but I just don't think, quote, person climb hard rock, unquote, is a good enough reason to be shitty. Like, just don't climb sandstone after rain, man. It freaking breaks. Follow local ethics. God damn, 4 classics broke this year in Albarracín alone because of selfish assholes who do that. Honestly, like, just, like, ugh, I don't know what the fuck to say. All right, whatever. Freaking, let's, happy place, okay? I just learned from the Despi's podcast that Ben Moon just, like, kind of, sort of announced very unofficially that there will be a new Moonboard coming out in April 2026, which is very, 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 very exciting. So there's a clip, came out on the Stone Climbing podcast. Shout out to them. Go check it out. Links in the description. But seems that this new Moonboard is gonna be freaking massive. 16 feet wide by 14 feet tall. And it's actually not gonna be a completely 2D straight panel like we've seen from forever. It's actually apparently gonna have an angle change, which is gonna go from 30 degrees to 45 degrees. Now, Ben was pretty vague about what that's gonna look like, but if you see this clip, he's moving his arms horizontally as opposed to vertically, which at least to me indicates that this is gonna be, for example, 30 degrees on the left side, and we'll move to 45 degrees on the right, as opposed to doing like 30 degrees on the bottom and moving up to 45 degrees at the top. Did that make any sense? I don't know. I hope my hand gestures were correct. So, decidedly not what like the Beast Board at the Tension Climbing headquarters looks like, and more kind of like what this wall right here at the schoolroom looks like. You can kind of see the angle change there too. I got this from a wedge video, by the way. Links in the description if you want to see more of it with more details and all that good stuff. Anyways, presumably, Ben said he wants this thing to have like actual macros and small holds. So honestly, I'm imagining this thing is very much just going to look incredibly similar to what the spray wall at the schoolroom ends up looking like in that video. So, you know, something like that, if you can excuse the dude falling out of frame in the screenshot I took, and probably with just like what, like maybe 3 or 4 hold colors. Like, you know, you get green, more blue. Did I say green? Well, actually, green would be kind of cool, maybe. I don't know. But if it does look like something like this and it's standardized, this is some pretty freaking exciting stuff. It's not really something necessarily new, given that spray walls like these exist literally everywhere in the world in pretty much every gym. But to have one that's standard, like, that would be incredible, especially if you're using like volumes, like big macros almost as volumes. That'd be awesome. And also, not for nothing, but I'd be stoked about a hard board at 30 degrees with horrific holds, honestly. I feel like most of the world's hard climbing happens at around that angle, and we kind of seem to ignore it a ton in favor of more severe overhangs for no real reason. Anyways, I'd love to know what you guys think, man. Though, honestly, the size is a little concerning. Like, Michael Rosado from Tension brought up the fact that most gyms maybe aren't even going to have space enough for it. Like, 16 by 14 is massive, dude. The kilter is freaking 12 by 12. Like, that's way bigger. And one thing I do hope they add, by the way, feet-only holds, or at the least, like, a foot color for the LEDs. I feel like a lot of the uncomfortable sort of awkwardness of a lot of Moonboard problems kind of comes from the hands follow feet-only rule. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if that is a good idea or not, or if, like, would that change, like, the ethos of Moonboard ding, if that makes any sense. And then Ben Wheeler's older brother just flashed his rocks I'm rock hard. Did I do it right? Brass Knuckles. Brass Knuckles is the name of the boulder that Ben Wheeler's brother just flashed. In case you don't know who I'm talking about, Ben Wheeler has a brother named Noah. You might have heard of him. Dude's not quite as interesting as Benn, but he's the one that held on tight to a rock, hard stone, and just didn't let go. So unfortunately, we're going to have to talk about him for a minute instead. I will not be changing that photo, by the way. I mean, just look at that Bennness. Bask in his glory. It's magnificent. He's magnificent. So Noah, as I said, is most known for being Ben Wheeler's older brother and also for climbing a few hard boulders out there. Certified board lord, probably the best in the world at it, if I do say so myself. 2 9A V17s under his belt so far, a couple 16s, and more 15s than I fucking honestly felt like counting. 11, actually. I remember I could look it up on 8a.nu, and now I don't feel like deleting this from the script. Yes, this show has a script. What'd you think? I was actually good at fucking talking? Meet me in person. You'll see I'm not. I'm a fucking idiot. This is getting weird and meta, and I don't like it. Anyways, this is Ben Wheeler's older brother's first 8B plus flash. He's also managed to flash 5 8B V13 boulders. Essentially, dude's one of only 8B but ever flash 8B plus. Right there next to Aidan Roberts, Jimmy Webb, Vadim Timonov, Daniel Woods, Jakob Schubert, Will Bosey, and of course, the one and only Adam Ondra. We shouldn't really be surprising that he's on that list. He's on every fucking list. But, yeah, man, huge congratulations to Noah. All jokes aside and shit, this is this is freaking sick. I'm sure all of this will be featured on a Wheel Rock episode in full shaky cam glory. So we have that to look forward to. Not to mention the long awaited reunion of Benn and Noah Wheeler. Next, and this one's surprising, Alex Honnold's actually climbed something hard-ish. I'm kidding, that's so mean. He climbs harder than I do. Although to be fair, I'm currently being weighed down by a massive beer belly. You may have noticed it on my face. To be even more fair, I think Honnold's probably weighed down even more than I am by his gigantic pair of balls. To be even more fair, that dude rationalizes everything so freaking much, I don't think his balls have ever actually been a factor. So honestly, I take it back. Honnold sucks. Talk to me about him being ballsy when he on-site free solos something actually hard. Honestly, I don't think he watches this show, but if he did, I can picture him doing that little nod thing he does. Like, you know what I'm talking about, the whole like, he's not wrong. Was that a good impression? I don't know. I know it, he knows it, you know it, and you know that I know that he knows that I know it. But now, all jokes aside, Alex Honnold sent Bachelor Party appropriately took his shirt off halfway up the route on a rest for no goddamn reason. But I suspect the name of the route has got to have something to do with it. So anyways, this thing supposedly is 9A 514D, where it was originally. Honnold says he thinks it's 8C plus because he did it with knee bars. Tommy Caldwell can't believe it, and he thinks that Alex is completely wrong and that everyone, knee bars included, despite the fact that it wasn't originally done with him, would call it 9A regardless. So what that means at the very least is that out of the 3 dudes that announced their first to climb 9A as Dad's challenge, both Alex and Tommy have climbed 9A, but have both decided to downgrade their sends, which means Sonny Trotter is likely going to have to do the same or risk kind of being shit on a little bit. Unless he goes all out and does something really fucking hard, like a 9A plus or something, which either way, like, it seems to be what Alex just did, according to Tommy, essentially. A small part of me, like, thinks that Honnold downgraded Bachelor Party to 8C plus, not because he doesn't think that it's 9A, but really more to just kind of, like, mess with his buddies. Like, I don't personally know Alex at all, but that seems like something he'd 100% do. Either way, race is still on. I'm excited to see who the first one to do it's going to be, and which 9A Sonny Trotter is going to downgrade. Oh shit, I forgot to take this off. And on we move to Aidan Roberts getting the first ascent of the Bee's Knees, an AB plus V14 boulder somewhere around Yosemite. I really wish I knew where exactly. I've never been to Yosemite, but I would freaking kill to go there right now, or anytime, honestly, and that boulder looks freaking incredible. Not the hardest thing in the world, but, I mean, just look at that thing. Rock quality looks amazing. Just for the rock quality alone, I would like to go and just stand under it. The fact that it is where it is, somewhere out there, it's just amazing stuff. It's appropriate ass name, the Bee's Knees. That Aidan Roberts is a stout fellow. And yeah, if you haven't read his caption, it rings true. Dude gives credit to all the people that found, cleaned, and worked the boulder over the years in typical Aidan Roberts fashion, turning a humble little moment into something a little more philosophical. Dude's so deep, he's deep. It's a tall climb. Anyways, I don't know where Aidan is currently in the world, but yeah, he's out there climbing some stuff, or doing. I don't know. We're fucking done here. Good job, Aidan. Boulder looks awesome. I cannot wait to never get to see it on video ever. You motherfucker. Anyways, Laura Rogora was recently in the news for her FA of Malkuth, for which she has now given 9A 514D. And I'm not gonna lie, at this point, I have completely lost track of how many 9A first ascents have been done by women, which that's my bad. I really should know that. But it's honestly, it's not a lot. Like possibly in the low double digits, and 100% not anywhere near 20. So more like 10-ish, I think, which means that this is a pretty freaking big deal. And yet it seemingly keeps happening to Laura for reasons I cannot understand, is kind of being, ignored a little bit. Or, well, not really ignored, but like, I mean, you get the idea. No one's really talking about it. Anyways, this is a climb that's apparently close to Rome in a crag called Ferentillo, and it goes up a route called Yorgao. How was my Italian? Did I sing enough? Fuck. Which is a short AP plus or 514A. It traverses to the left, and connects to an 8C 514B called Die Hard. So, as most sport climbs, it's a friggin' link up, which, listen, dude, I know it's a meme, but sport climbing fucking sucks, man. I'm sorry, I said it sucks. Like, generally speaking, it sucks. Belaying is awful and boring. You have to wait 30 minutes or longer for your turn. I'd rather dip my nutsack in a tank full of ill-tempered mutated sea bass than have to stand around for an hour watching someone hang-dogging their stupid project. Every single route is a link-up of a link-up of a link-up that traverses from one to another, which is, by definition, one of the things that most people agree specifically makes a boulder problem shittier in terms of quality. And on top of that, I'm not done. I'm not done. Braytel, if I were to tell you that there was a 5-star boulder problem somewhere out there, greatest rock quality, greatest movement, most fun to climb of all time, the greatest thing that you could possibly imagine, what is the one thing that I could add to that description that would immediately ruin it for most people? No idea? You want to know the answer? I'll tell you the answer. What happens if the boulder doesn't top out? Are you bummed now? You know what something like 90% of the world's best sport climbers don't do? Top out! They don't top out! By definition, some of the greatest sport climbs on the planet would be considered crappy, nothing to write home about choss if they were boulders and they were just a little bit shorter of the ground that a fall wouldn't kill you. You don't top out! Nobody tops out. You just clip some stupid chains and then you let yourself fall. You didn't climb to the top of shit. You gave up halfway there. Andra on Silence, for example. You guys remember the little noises he made when he let himself fall at the end of that? You think that was a celebration? That's not a celebration. That's him confronting the fact that he's gonna not be able to look at himself in the mirror later when he gets home. Okay, I'm done. That was only semi-serious. I really dislike sport climbing, but you do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't care. Anyways, massive congratulations to Laura. I really need to figure out what the first ascents of sport climbing women are, because it is actually a really important thing to know, and I can't believe I don't know that. That's totally my bad. I will correct that shit. My bad. Anyways, congratulations to Laura. Massive thing to do, honestly, and nobody seems to be talking about it. But here I am. It's awesome. And next, let's talk about Ritsu Kayotani. This Japanese dude's on a freaking roll. Sent 2 8C V15 boulders basically back to back within a week of each other. I don't speak Japanese, and dude's captions are all in Japanese, including the names of the climb, so really all I can honestly say is he sent 2 boulders, and I think one is called Gargantua, at least, and the other one is Dry Sea, at least according to Google Translate. But like, yeah, I ain't even gonna attempt to act like I understand anything that he wrote, or even how to freaking pronounce any of that shit. Or even if, like, for whatever reason, a lot of Japanese boulder problem names are in English, and I don't know if that's on purpose or if they're just like translating when they talk about them. I don't know. I should try to learn Japanese, though. There's so many Japanese climbers out there that are freaking killing it. I might as well figure out some way of understanding what the fuck is going on. Either way, man, whatever. Congrats to Ritsu. I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing his last name, his actual name, so I'm not going to try it. And, let's move on. He's doing really well. Find his stuff in the links in the description. Follow his shit. He's doing great. And finally, 16-year-old David Bermudez Carbonell sent a climb called Merendola in Cuenca, Spain. Kid's on a roll. This is his 7th ever 9A, which is wild given how he's still a freaking child. And I mean, yeah, man, honestly, what else is there to say that hasn't been covered to death already, right? Kids in climbing have always been scary good. Now they're even scarier gooder. I don't know how to speak. Shut up. Who cares? You get the point. Congratulations to David. Keep a lookout for the little dude. He's probably going to be sending 9A plus 515A into 2026. I guarantee it. Or at least that's my prediction. Whatever. But hey, that was some climbing news. Thanks as always for watching. Apologies for being gone for as long as I was, but, at least, I guess the wall behind me kind of looks a little bit nicer. Sort of. Let me know what you guys think. Better be good stuff only, because I'm not fucking taking it down. So you're just going to have to deal with it. You'll be stuck with it. I don't care. I'll be doing more to get the production value of this show to go up more and more and more, improve as we go in 2026, little by little. Need a backlight of some sort. I've yet to decide what exactly I'm going to do over here, but yeah, lighting's terrible at the moment. I'm trying to figure all that shit out. Anywho, last minute reminder to do the YouTube thing and like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps me out, helps the channel. We're back to the regular schedule also, so I will see you guys on Friday. But in the meantime, of course, and as always, go climb some stuff.